Welcome back. We took a 2-week break. That is our new rhythm, I guess.
Seems to
I'm
be.
Melissa.
And I'm Ryan.
Ryan. And this is the Betrayal Body. And today
Episode
we
9?
have shit, yeah. Yeah, it is. Nice. We going
Congratulations.
strong, homie.
Yeah. Phew.
I think people are liking us. Or liking the content at least.
1,000 followers today. Congratulations,
Yeah.
us. So,
On TikTok. Yay! We just kind of
woo
like
woo.
drop it and just like see where it lands. I mean, we could put more effort into it and like post extra videos here and there. I thought about that, but I was like, I'm building up my other platform, so I don't got time right now. But let us know.
This is a come together and just like a meeting of the minds. Like we both have
Yeah.
our main stuff that we're driving towards,
Mm.
and sometimes there's we miss connections. Like Melissa will have one piece that I need over here, vice versa. And, we just like to talk about this shit too. So it's a good outlet for both of us. And, sometimes we trip and fall into something interesting. And if that's the
Oh
case,
yeah. And I really want to not make this feel like a job either. I want it to remain like really enjoyable, which I do. I look forward to them. Because it's like the only time that I have to like really do a deep dive into like anywhere my mind goes and where your mind goes. It's just fun to like volley. Although like
mhm.
ball's usually on my side and I'm just like keeping it up and then I'll eventually pass it. Because I do the editing, I'm like, holy shit! Like the color band on mine is like when it's like little Ryan. I'm like, fuck, I need to give him more space. I know you don't care, but you have some really interesting shit to share, so I gotta
Well,
volley it back.
my stuff gets like it. It's the stuff that isn't. I guess mine is too. What's the word? Like yours is fun. Mine gets fucking depressing. Like, like
No, you can make depressing shit fun. That's what I do for a living.
this is true. No shit.
I'm like, actually, we can flip that. you know. I do
Yeah.
that all day long. Like,
Strike that,
I was did
reverse
that
it.
today, actually. Yeah, I did. I was like it was, like, super, super sad, and like, my heart was fucking breaking, and I was getting teary-eyed and stuff, and it's not that, that those emotions are bad, but, like, basically, I help people, get balanced because they're, like, heavy and lopsided on one side, so if you're, like,
Mhm.
overly emotional, I'm gonna constantly bring you back to the logic or, like, the brain, prefrontal cortex, problem-solving type stuff. 'Cause, like, you're lopsided for a reason, and so I try to, like, help it feel safer on the logic end if you're overly emotional. And the empaths struggle with that. They get super in their feels. I mean, Ryan, I can tell you're a freaking empath hardcore. Because certain things I say, I can tell it, like, hits you deeply. And you have to, like, literally physically shift your body to, like, get that like a dog, shaking after
Mhm.
like a interaction with another dog. I can see that happening with you. Where I somehow have like I don't know if I have like a cold heart.
You have balance.
Yeah, I think I'm just like from another place. we don't like
Like,
we don't like get bothered by like death. you know?
mhm. In like mine, I am that empathetic person, but it took me years. Like I've gone to the other end of it where I logically empath, and
That makes
it's
sense.
that was a hard thing to do, but since I've done it, it it doesn't make things easier. It gives me an outlet. So something will hit and it'll land
Mhm.
and I'll hold on to it for a while. Then, like, let's say it happens in one of our conversations, I'll turn it around, we'll get off. I'll jump on the Google machine and just start researching it. Okay, how do I fix
Ah.
this? And it's it's a perverted style of the wounded healer, like,
Hmm.
but I I channel it into research, like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, talking about autism here, like the other day I looked for, okay, what's something that happened around the same time the autism spike started happening, like,
Mhm.
because in the 70s it was like 7 out of every 1,000 births were, you know, autism related. Now it's
Mhm.
1 out of every 36.
I have a massive download for that, by the way.
Okay.
You wanna hear it?
So, yeah,
Finish. Keep the ball.
the parallel there is 1969, California introduced no fault divorces.
Shit.
And
Mm.
from there, it's been the number of divorces in the cases
Mhm.
of autism have grown
Interesting.
in parallel. And the reason for that is transgenerational trauma.
Mhm.
Okay, so the court system, it's a meat grinder. Like, by its very nature, it pits two people against each other, whether they want to or not.
Yep.
It's You're stepping into a ring. Like, even if it's not a
Yeah.
contested
It's
divorce
just like the
process.
military. You're like, "Wait,
Yeah.
why are we at war with these dudes that are just, like, protecting their crops?"
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And okay, all of a sudden you have two sides colliding, and one side has to be the aggressor and one side has to be you know, the mediate at minimum. But most, you know, real con um uh high conflict divorces, you have two people that are aggressive, you
Yeah.
know, meeting in, and that does things to the body that,
Yeah.
you start dumping all these chemicals, like preparing for war. And okay, that passes along to the child. Okay. And that's where things like jacked up HPA axes come into play, dysregulation in utero, and all of that stuff start coming into play. And that's how autism starts landing.
It's an interesting
That's
theory.
Yeah. And so I have a full 12-page paper on that.
Well, my question is like, well, I imagine that there's some people with autism whose lineage did not experience divorce, but maybe
Mhm.
not. I don't know. I really don't know. That's actually a really good theory to explore, and only through that exploration will we find answers. But in relation to the download I got,
Yes.
um, so this is at the highest of levels. Okay, like source level. I saw it. Uh, so how I see source is like plasma.
Mhm.
It's like a plasma plasma like uh it's like one thing. How the fuck do I explain this? For some reason, when I got the download, I thought of blood, but I've never seen blood like this. But it reminded me of like a goop.
Well, okay, what can you donate? You can donate blood, you can donate plasma.
Right. And so I actually was like Googling, like, what does plasma look like under a microscope? How does it move? Because that's what I saw. It was basically like, all right, I'm holding my mic. So let me place it there because I'm trying to like not have it in my face. Okay. So it's like this. The first time I ever saw source, I saw this like moving wave of like energy looking stuff. But the second time I saw it, it looked the same, but instead it looked more solid. Like more solid, not just like energy moving. It was like an actual what's the word? Organism.
Mhm.
So um source is not separate from us. We How I saw it, let me get my whiteboard. This is what I do in my sessions. But there's gonna be freaking well, I'm gonna use paper because it'll get reflected on the whiteboard. All right. This is just in a nutshell. I'm a visual learner. All right. This is how I saw it. All right. All right. So this is like, you know how we draw the sun in like the corner of the page? So there's more here. Like
Mhm.
maybe it's solid right here. Okay. So this is how I view source. And it's more concentrated over here. Like basically how I saw source begin to exist was like it was like its own organism, and then it developed consciousness organically. It was just like out of all the infinite possibilities of the infinite, it developed consciousness, and it was like, holy shit, I'm conscious. I don't know if cuss, but whatever. It's like, oh my god, I'm conscious. Like, oh my god, I'm conscious. And when it birthed, is like literally like I imagine what a baby experiences. Like they open their eyes and they're like, whoa, what the? I'm alive, you know? And what it does naturally is like it starts branching out like what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And every single like what's this? It created its own trajectory like an algorithm. Like your AI is mimicking source. And it creates its own algorithms out. Okay, so I imagine like maybe one, we'll just say one person or soul. We're not, we call ourselves souls, but we're so much more than what that actually
Mhm.
represents. We are a conscious awareness expression in our own unique, what's this? And so we're branching off. We're still very much connected, but we've branched off and like strayed further away. So one of us, I imagine, or 12 of us, maybe 13 of us, all went together down the same algorithm. And we're like, yo, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And we got more and more quote unquote intelligent, you could say, and more like specific in how we go down our algorithms, because you naturally like expand infinitely. And then eventually we got to like where we're at, which is like, you can just say the game we're in now. Because all we want is to just experience things. Because we're like
Mhm.
so freaking curious. I would say we're maybe the maturity level of like a 5-year-old, maybe younger, where we're like, what does this button do? What does this button do? We're asking so many questions. We're like, oh my gosh, like a kid. And so we created our own little game over here. I know. I actually drew this earlier in a session. I was like, maybe not. We are veterans. Okay. I can't even show this. All right, new drawing.
Sorry. I saw it coming.
I've never
and
seen
I was like,
hair on a tip, so that would be
"No."
kind of weird.
This is
Okay,
true.
all right, let's try this. Do, 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 do.
Yeah,
I can't,
it just always gravitates to the
bro. I
phallus.
can't do any drawing where it's not gonna be like. All right. Okay, so we're
I
in a
think they
giant penis, apparently. Uh,
yes. Well,
dude, this
creation.
actually, yo, actually, this makes sense. Okay, nothing's a coincidence, guys. This is the fucking patriarchy, and we're stuck because we flipped it and inverted it. Okay, let's just go with that. Because how I experienced source was it's like mama duck, quote unquote. All right, so like you got the mama duck. That's more like a chicken. Whatever, you get it. It's a duck.
Quack quack.
This literally looks like a chicken, but okay. All right. And then you got the baby ducks all around mama duck, because we'll never go back to source like fully, because then we will cease to exist. That's my like interpretation. But so a lot of souls left and went over here, and they followed, because it's like you can view it as like a vortex maybe of like suctioning them in, kind of like what happens in our society and our reality when everyone's like, say TikTok, when everyone's talking about the same thing, we all get sucked into a trance and go down that path. So we trapped ourselves here. And so we're not going to even focus on what the 3D is yet. Like we're not going to focus on the nitty gritty. Let's just stay with the plasma structure. Um we have, like, even think we circumcised no, not we castrated ourselves? I don't fucking know. We tied a knot to where we can't fucking get out, okay? This looks so weird.
Cut the umbilical cord.
Okay. Okay, but not fully. We just
Yeah.
can't get out. People can still get in, but we can't get out because we have to come out as a collective. Um, and so the way this actually looks is like we created laws and all this stuff in the game, and then there's a group that got
The
so dark,
archons.
yes, that they're like, we want power or whatever, and then it just like closed it off. So now we can't get out. Like we can, but the game can't end until enough of us leave together. Yeah. So it's not that you're trapped here. Like individually, we're not trapped here, but as a collective, we are trapped until we all move closer to Mama Duck. So what has happened with, say, star seeds and stuff, Mama Duck is like, hey, my babies have strayed too far and they are lost. And when I got this download, I had watched a video earlier that day of like these baby ducks following a mama duck over a curb. And the last duck got stuck. Have you seen that video?
Mm-hmm.
And the last duck's like, and so the mom eventually comes back and then the baby hops over. But this is kind of the same thing. And it was ironic because it was a curb that the baby duck was stuck behind, which is material 3D, human, whatever creation. So the star seeds are coming in. These are the ones who are closest to source consciousness or closer. They're carrying like a completely different frequency, these souls. And but the only way they can come is through incarnation, and they have to go through the veil of forgetfulness, the waters. So once they're here, they may not wake up, and then it's like a gamble. Like we don't actually know if we're gonna wake up. We're like, let's just try. Let's just take a risk. And so you can think of this as like multiple souls are all over the place, but there's a whole shit ton trapped here. So you can think of these souls as like maybe Lyrans or like Pleiadians or whatever, like all the other ones that we know about. They're coming from different universes or star systems, and they're like, let's go help Earth. So the ones who are closest to Mama are the ones incarnating as autistic kids, especially the nonverbal autistic ones. So if we just think of plasma or an organism, nature is self-correcting. It's going to correct itself. It's strayed too far away. It's no different than what nature does here. Like when we destroy our shit, the earth is going to fuck us up and kill us off because we're freaking the plague, you know? So it's the same exact thing. Like Source has sent out stuff for override. And what that appears as in the 3D is autistic kids. We try to make sense of that through, oh, it must be the vaccines. Oh, it must be divorces. Oh, it must be this. Oh, it's all true. But like, it's really just an expression of self-correction of the organism. So it depends on like how, like if you want to go high on the octaves of awareness and consciousness, or if you want to go low ground level 3D of like why this is. So from what the download I got was like, yo, they're just chilling. Like they just don't want to fucking be messed with. They're literally tapped into this consciousness. That's why they don't freaking care about you interacting with them. And then on top of that, I got a download about stimming. All stimming is calibration of the physical vessel to pull in that anchored in energy. Because what they're doing is they're pulling in source energy, like grounding it in rapidly. And so they have to like move their body, kind of like light language. They're calibrating. They're like moving it. Because I was actually doing this like during my download. And I was like, holy shit, this actually looks like I would be autistic if someone didn't know me. I was even just staring at the ceiling. Like I was like, whoa.
It's fun.
Like I felt good. I didn't want to leave. And I was like, I'm in bliss right now. I'm in freaking heaven right now. Like in this consciousness. And if someone were to approach me and try to like get me to pay attention to them and pull me out of that trance and that state that I was in, I would just hit the fuck out of them. I would be like, "Get away from me. I don't wanna be here, like, in this 3D." So, basically, the reason that there's trouble in the 3D when they're here is just because us, we're like, have such a problem with it because we can't wrap our head around it, when in
Mhm.
reality, they're the greatest gift that could ever have arrived for us because they are anchoring in light, like, rapidly. That's my download on that. There's so much more, but I'll share it
And
as I go, I imagine.
to what you're saying, the video you sent me the other day about the gnats and the experiment with the gnats, it's the same thing.
Wait, what did I
It's
send you?
okay, this is what sent me down the
The
pneumatics.
gnats.
Yeah, it was um, a video, what do they call it? Like,
Wait, is gnats a
stress
short term for something?
no, like the experiment of the Italian guy with the gnats. He held gnats close to a fire.
Bro, I didn't send you that. Tell me about it. Or maybe I'm, like, tripping out. Yo, do I have split personality? I don't remember what I do.
Somebody's tripping,
Oh, no,
but
seriously, did I? Did I send you that?
yeah.
Alright, let me look. Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's DNA when your
Personality
DNA
doesn't
builds
change
pressure
slowly
when it
over time.
flips.
It builds pressure
Oh,
and
that! I
then
wasn't paying
influx.
okay, okay.
And there is a biological mechanism.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I wasn't paying attention to the gnat study, I was focused on, like, the what sh yeah. I was
okay.
too, hyper focused on the see, our
Yeah.
our algorithms are different in the way we view content, obviously.
But and no, it what it does is changes your DNA. Like the what she's talking about, the pressure, and we're living in one of the most chaotic times in the world. There is so much sensory overload. The stimuli coming in, both good and bad, is just boom, 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 boom. And that's the pressure that these children are coming into, and stress is pressure. Anxiety is pressure. All of that is pressure. So that is what's creating this 1 out of every 36 situation that we're in. And more and more people, like you're saying, are getting closer and closer to Mama Duck just from the jump. And to me, what that says is we're moving a direction. And
She wants her 5 minutes of fame, let her have it. Just
get
tell her
what
we're
you're
on the
needing.
news. Tell her we're on the news.
She got herself a fruit roll up and she's about to go back in the room. Um, no, to me, the 1 out of every 36 instead of 7 out of 1,000, what that's pointing at is we are quickly approaching critical mass to that collective breaking loose.
Mhm.
Like when all of these incarnated souls are saying, okay, we're just not going to participate in this 3D nonsense because we know um we know the drill. We've been through this before. We're comfortable next to Mama Duck, and we're going to just stay there and ride this one out, pull in that energy, and we'll ground it and
Yeah.
push it out. And
And what it's doing though is like, okay, what I also got was like we don't have to leave here to like achieve what we're doing. What I got was think about when you are in the woods with say you're camping in the woods with your family and you're a kid and you got like siblings and you and your siblings go into the woods and you're like, "Yo, what's this? Look, guys!" And you're like picking up stuff, you're climbing trees and doing all kinds of stuff, and then you hear a noise and you're like, "Yo, what's that? Let's go check it out." All that stuff. And then you start like looking at like a freaking stick or something or look under a rock and you're like looking at all the bugs and then all of a sudden you look up and like your siblings are gone. And you're like, "Guys, guys, where'd you go?" And like crickets. And you're like, guys?" And then nothing. And then you hear a branch snap. You're like, "What was that? What was that?" So the environment hasn't changed at all. but your experience of that environment has drastically changed now because you
Mhm.
don't have that sense of safety. So basically, our proximity to mama duck has strayed so far away that we have lost and forgotten that we have a mama duck to protect us. And it's just our connection has been kind of severed because they like tied off they castrated or like what is it when you what is it when you rubber band the balls of
Yeah,
like a cow or whatever or like
it's,
a pig? What is it?
it's castration.
Okay,
It's
so you do that first and
band
then you clip.
castration. Yeah.
So that's basically what's happened. It's like the rubber band is tight, and so we like don't have access to the blood flow essentially. And if it stays tight like that, we're gonna freaking break off. But because it's source, we're not gonna break off. So no matter what, we're gonna come back. It's divine intervention is what's happening, and so we like to make sense of it all in our 3D terminology of like, why are these things happening? Let's like label everything and do all this stuff. But in reality, we don't have control over it like we think we do. We're riding the wave and we're making do with what we have. And so what I was told was if everyone just does their shit, what excites them, what interests them, what makes them feel alive and curious like a kid, if everyone just does that, it'll self-correct automatic like very quickly. But
Mhm.
because everyone's in a role and everyone's freaking, lying to themselves and like don't feel safe enough to express authentically, that's what's making this take so long and that's what's keeping us looping. Um,
It's the sympathetic response. It's, that that fear, that being lost in the woods and hearing that crack, we're just constantly stuck in that sympathetic response, and that's the call to either go directly to what you're saying, which is what we should be doing, or go the opposite direction and grind into, okay, if I just do everything that everybody has ever told me to do, I'm going to be okay. Like,
yes, it's a false sense of security. Um, so instead of using your intuition and your instincts of like, okay, let me try to navigate back. Instead, you're like, okay, what did I learn in Boy Scouts? Like, okay,
mhm,
this is what I do. These are the steps. Let me just stay put. Or like whatever. You're gonna do like what you were taught versus like what feels natural. And
mhm,
that's the difference of like the prescribed response versus like if you were to just stop trying so hard. And I just
trust
watched
your
Finding
instinct.
Nemo, bro.
Yeah,
I rewatched Finding Nemo last night, and I was
it's a
like,
good one.
"Fucking Ellen DeGeneres is the fucking voice of Dory." Bruh, ruins the whole thing completely. I mean, all Disney movies are like this, but anyway, so I looked beyond that. And I was like, "Yo, Finding Nemo is a fucking movie of spiritual awakening and like the
Mhm.
journey through it, where his dad has to face every fear, and then in the end, he has to trust and let go in the whale's mouth before he gets launched out of the freaking blowhole." He
Yep.
literally had to let go and
Surrender.
surrender. Hello,
Cool.
there's a theme here, guys. They have to tell us the truth, all right? So if you
Yeah.
just surrender and just like trust, faith, you will be guided out properly, unscathed to your soul's like
Mhm.
expression of what
Oh,
unscathed means.
yeah, you're gonna hit a wall, like,
Yeah, you might
coming
get
up, like,
hurt in the physical, but
it's not
something
gonna
will
be
catch you. Something will catch you.
it's
It
it's
might hurt.
it was never supposed to be comfortable. Like,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. It was supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to be pressure because we are pressure vessels. We are
Yeah.
pneumatic
That's how our DNA
systems.
pops up.
Yeah,
Flips on.
and that's what the gnat test was. This Italian scientist held gnats up to a flame, and what he noticed was their chromosomes expanded when he did this. And these chromosomes aren't just in gnats. They live in every living creature there is. Okay, and I've made a comment on one of your videos about the dogs. Like, all dogs come from wolves. Okay, so wolves are apex predator. They are built lean, mean,
Yeah.
just as nature intended. Okay, now we have Shih Tzus and
Chihuahuas.
Chihuahuas and all of these things that are directly,
Yeah.
you know,
It turned us into
it,
pussies. I can say it, you can't.
yeah. But my theory is becoming more and more. It's not a theory of evolution; it's a theory of de-evolution. Like, because dogs have followed us and we've gotten softer and softer. We're not exposing ourselves to the same pressures, the visceral, okay,
100%.
let
We're
me
we're
let
like
me take this
babied.
stick
Mhm.
and go and hunt a fucking woolly mammoth. Like,
Right. I mean, look at like the ancient traditions of like I don't know, like I imagine this is kind of accurate when you watch Vikings, the show.
mhm,
They freaking he had to send his son out alone for like I don't know how long, a week or whatever, and to
the
just survive on
Spartans
his
did
own.
it.
That's part of like did you bring that up last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the episode 6 or 7, yeah, they
Okay.
would give him a stick, a spear and say, "Go." Like,
Yep.
"Good luck, bud.
You'll be okay.
If
Or not.
yeah, if you
It's
come
like
back."
it's dude, if you think about it, that's actually what like animals do. They kill the
Mhm.
weakest or they like let them
Yeah.
die and all that shit because it's like they're protecting the genes, like
Mhm.
the evolution. But now that we've like allowed people to live that's a bad way of saying it. We don't get exposed to the elements to like naturally die off when we probably should because it's like bad genetics and like bad adaptations. They've made us soft. It's literally Wally. Like, and we're just like rolling around on our little wheelchairs, like drinking smoothies. Um, uh huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
No,
and then we
that's
just become like literal batteries. That's it. They don't need us doing shit. Like AI is gonna do all that. All we have to do is just exist. If we're dumb and lazy, that's fine.
we can make it hard on ourselves in, you know, in in a compassionate way. Like, we can set it's back to the video game shit. Okay, set
Yeah,
levels. Okay,
yeah,
go through this. We've designed it purposefully for it to suck ass,
yeah,
but it's
dude.
safe enough
Yes.
where you can still experience the pressure and go through. But what this is leading us to is critical mass, because there is this pressure and this calling, like all the chronic illnesses, and that's people avoiding the calling. Like, it's source energy putting pressure on us, like our bodies, and just it's telling us something is wrong, but we're not listening. And that's becoming more and more the cancer spikes, all of this. Stop it. It's saying you need to be what you were created for.
Yeah, we gotta surrender and ride, and then just
And
be like, fall, push out a
yeah,
blowhole.
and like, yeah, it, all of this stuff, and there's things that have been, the Gnostics call them archons, you know, hiding this knowledge that, okay, the Gnostics, the Kundalini studies, Stoicism, Hermeticism, they're all saying the same thing, you know, like, you have to go through all of this to get out, to break free from this cycle. And
Why does that sound like is that a cat sneezing? Yo, are you impressed that I knew what that was?
yeah, I am.
Yo, that's hilarious. Is it
Hey,
orange kitty?
Reagan, come get your cat and your dog and
Yo,
bring
why is
bring
your
them into
family
your
all
room.
fucking fucked up?
Fucking spiritual warfare and shit. Like,
No, we're gonna flip this, Ryan. Okay, you guys
I'm
are going
trying.
through compression to flip your DNA
No,
on.
trust me, I know.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I've
so
been.
it's so I wanna actually add to what I was saying, where if people just follow what interests them and shit, that includes the dark, okay?
Mhm.
So when people keep pretending that they don't have these, like, dark things inside of them and they don't express them, and I'm not, like,
Exercise
encouraging
them.
this. I'm not encouraging this, but what I got was there's no actual good or bad. It's just energy, and the
Mhm.
dark will be the catalyst to the light. So, like, people came here and incarnated to serve a purpose, and a lot of people are, like, hiding their dark shit. But actually, I know this is, like, a hard pill to swallow, but, like, when they express, so think of this as, like, just mechanics, okay? When they express fully, we'll see the truth for what shit actually is, and then it'll prompt us to be like, "Oh shit, it's time to actually step up and stop being a pussy, whatever, or like docile little fluffy thing that
And
doesn't want
Nemo.
resistance." Right. And be like, "Oh, don't, Nemo, don't, you'll get
Yeah,
hurt." And his
Marlin.
dad, Marlin, and then in the end, he's like, "All right, go Nemo, like, you need to do this. Like, you
Mhm.
need to, there's some dark forces out there, you know, whatever, basically." And so, like, everyone's kind of like at a standstill, being all like nice and like playing their role and like being fake. But in reality, like, if we all just like be ourselves fully, like, say narcissists, if they like stop pretending and they just like fully express their evil shit, this will self correct real fucking quick.
Yeah.
It's with the mind games and shit of like, I actually am a nice person, or like, I am. No, no, no. You got evil
Loop
shit
dee
in
dee
there.
loop loop. Yeah.
You got evil shit in there.
And
And
it's
like, it'll help wake people up. Like, I don't know. This is like a touchy place, you know? But I'm just looking at it from a mechanical standpoint.
and if
It's from
okay,
source. I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger.
mechanistically, it's if you think about it, it's literally exercising your demons on your own. And, like when you come up to a valley, the valley is going to be dark. Like, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you
I take a
don't
look at my life and
realize there's nothing left. Yep. But from a biblical standpoint,
my bad.
no, no, it's both. Like, that's the
Is that
thing.
in the
Like,
Bible? I
it,
haven't read through it.
mm, I shouldn't, foots and mouth disease. Um, but the point is, okay, the valley's going to be dark. Your innermost, those demons are inside of all of us, and we all have to go in and work through them.
Yeah.
It's better to just suck it up, take a deep breath, and push through the valley with as much inertia as you can, because once you get through the other side, like, "Ooh, okay, yeah, I saw all that, and I don't want to be that shit anymore." Like,
And this reminds me of like on my TikTok, like on my other TikTok, like there's the bad comments, whatever here and there. The shit talkers. I actually don't get too many. But the ones that I do get, they're very specific for me,
mhm.
for
Oh,
like
yeah,
my
they will cut. Yeah, there's a
there's
button, and I'm gonna. Yeah.
yeah, on purpose. Like I can see this, and it's not that the person knew my like trigger points. It's just like it just needed it, and it just so happened to fall in place in that moment. So I started actually letting my demon out instead of holding him back. I was like, all right, let's just fucking try how this feels, instead of being like this version of myself that like I know I truly am, but I also have this voice that's like, let me at him. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck it. Okay, let's do it. So I like cuss him out or like whatever. I'm not like super like crazy mean or
Mhm.
anything. But for me, it's like, I don't
Yeah.
I don't normally, I don't want to be that way, but there's that itch I need to scratch. So I let it out. And
Mhm.
only when I let it out am I like, yeah, don't like that. And it stopped because I like actually exercised it. And I was like, exercised it? Um, and then from there, I have free will choice. Before, it was just like a shadow that I was running from, like, but when I brought it into the light, it showed the truth to me. And I was like, okay, Got it. Don't like how this feels. But if you do like how it feels when you're, say, mean to someone, there's a reason for that.
Mhm.
I mean, I ask that you don't harm any
Go
children
yeah, go
in
be a roast
this.
comedian. Like,
Oh yeah, you can channel it. But no, some people have other shit that they're suppressing. Um and I'll just leave it there because I just want to look at it from like the physics perspective. And that's kind of like what Ryan and I decided that would be our theme for today was physics because that's the answer to everything and quantum physics specifically. Like we don't really understand it fully yet, but we are scraping the surface. And all
mhm,
this understanding will do is just like basically give us permission to expand. That's the point of knowing anything. It's like if you're pursuing something that makes you feel um bogged down, constricted, like you just got more guardrails around you and shit, then you're probably going down a bad algorithm. Anything that I consume, I try to it like things that resonate. I'm like, yes, this makes me feel more expansive. This
mhm.
makes me feel brave. This makes me want to step into my power more. That's how I know it's truth. If it actually makes me like feel good, of like it just is like, oh, I feel home.
And
Like I can just relax next to Mama Duck.
yeah, and that's the calling that brings you closer and closer to source. Like, that
Yeah,
good
we
feeling, like
stumble our
you
way back through the
shed
dark.
that
Yeah,
nonsense. Yeah. And okay, you attach to what feels good and you follow that, and that is the path. Like old
yeah,
Jesus talked about. And,
yeah,
it's learning from our mistakes. But you have to fail to learn from those mistakes properly. You can't just sit in comfort and be afraid of failure, because if you do that, that's its own form of loop. And, you know, you have to fall on your
yep.
face. You have to learn to
You'll
get
be
back up on
Marlin.
that horse, or you're stuck. Yeah. And, it's sometimes life is terrifying. Like, in life's hard sometimes. But if you confront it, and if you know yourself and what you're getting into, you can take that breath and you might get knocked down, but you're not out of the fight. And it's about never getting out of that
Hmm.
fight, because that's what life is. It's supposed to be a fight. We've generated this comfort in this facade, this veil of everything is great. That's what we're shooting
Yep.
for. No, we're
Everything
we're
is
shooting.
awesome. I just
Everything
watched
is
that
cool
movie
when you're
too.
part of a team. Everything is yeah.
Everything is awesome.
uh, but that's it can be, and that's once we learn that the kingdom of heaven is, find it inside. That's when it starts projecting outward. And yes, there's conflict, but it's how you approach it. We're going to have in your algorithm um, talk. What an algorithm is a very loosely defined line of how things are going to go, and it attaches experience, like interactions, experiences unique to that person, and that's how the algorithm is tailored, like inputs. And everyone's going to be different because we are
Yep.
source experiencing
Yeah.
through fractals. And
And we
every
have our
experience is
soul's
different.
memory. We have our soul's experiences. Then we
Hmm.
get our DNA from this place that's interacting with our field. You have your life experiences that get integrated into the vessel, into the fascia and the freaking your brainstem. You have your brain and the way it expresses and filters. And then you have your astrological makeup. That is how your energy is going to interact with the stars and the planets and like the everything, like portals and well, I don't fucking know. all the astral shit. So there's a lot of factors in this, and that's how unique you are. And then we got our freaking fingerprints. They're different. Like every little thing is so
Mm-hmm.
unique. And what I was shown was like we are so incredibly celebrated. Like what I saw was like at the most concentrated part of the organism. Um you can call it like the densest or like the most colorful or whatever, or the brightest part of the organism, the center or like the side that I saw. um there are souls chilling right outside of like the central zone. No one goes actually in it because then they cease to exist. They like stay and chill right outside. It's like they just like to chill there. I viewed them as older brothers and sisters. And it was really interesting. I experienced them as like those, how like you meet like, and no offense to like homeschool kids, but I was like indoctrinated into like, super judgment, whatever. And I always viewed homeschool kids as weird. And the reason I saw them as
Melissa.
weird, and not all, but the ones I was exposed to, I'm like, why are they so supportive of each other? Why are they so nice to each other? Isn't that sad? I'm like, they're fucking weird. Like, weirdos. Like, why do you not care about what you wear? Why do you eat such weird food? Programming.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what the older ducklings, older brothers and sisters are like. They're like super weirdly supportive and loving. Like they're so incredibly excited to be like your biggest cheerleader along the way. No judgment whatsoever. They're like, you can do it. Yes, do it. And there's no judgment because you can't fuck it up. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You have a governor on you. Like you really can't fuck it up. You are designed to where you have free will, but there's also governors in place to where you're not going to fuck this up for humanity. Like you're on your path doing what you're going to do, and when you complete your mission or when you veer off course so much, it'll in whatever way it appears.
And to what you're saying, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the old 55 and Yeshwani. It's those people who found the governor a long time ago and started fiddling with it.
Yeah.
Like I can push it.
I'll explain what you mean.
Okay.
So they're channeling in so much source energy or higher energy. Their physical vessel is not meant to handle that amount coming in, which is like conscious downloads that are from so far or so close to source, you could call it. They're very simple, but they're very powerful when delivered to the collective because they hold keys. They're like override code. It's like Rosebud on The Sims. You're like cheating almost.
I remember Rosebud. That's the only way I would play. Like fuck all that.
Colon exclamation. Sometimes I would like to rough it, but then other times I like to be money. Money, roughing it more, which speaks to I don't like cheating. I find it's not fun when you cheat. I don't like cheating. You might enjoy it, like, and cheating meaning like, no, I wanna win fairly. Like I wanna show to myself that I can do the really hard shit. So I'm really stubborn in games, like board games and shit. I will call people out when they're cheating or like when they're not following the rules. And it's because I want to win fair and square or lose fair and square. I'm okay with losing, but I want to like lose fair and square or else it's not fun.
in board games and stuff, I'm with you, but on simulations, like life simulations, like, no, I'm playing this shit anyway.
Yeah, like The Sims. You're gonna like go hard. Like, yeah. Let's see how far I can take it.
Like, I'm doing this in real life. Like, if I'm gonna play it, no, I'm doing this with the easy
Bro, you know how I see it? So
flipping that governor. Like,
you fill up your bank account with as much as you possibly can, and then I feel like you fill up every single pixel possible in the map on The Sims. So, like, you build the biggest possible house, and you fill it up with every little piece of furniture you can of, like, "I'm gonna max this bitch out and see," and your sim can't even move through the house
yeah.
because there's so much shit in the way.
hmm And that's
That's
breaking the
funny.
governor. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fiddling with it, and to the
Mhm.
point it's, as above, so below, as
Yeah,
within, so without. Like, I'm constantly fiddling inside. Like,
yeah.
okay, how do I take the surrender thing? Like, once I figured out that trick, like, I'm like, all right, let's go. Phew. Like, every other week it feels like, you know, I found the cheat
Ah,
code,
push
and
it to your
I
limits. Yeah, but what's the consequence of this? Because nothing comes for free, Ryan. Let's talk about the consequences.
um all over body pain, fucking bleeding foreheads, fucking taking on a court system that's fucking out of control, like, and just taking that stick and poking it, like, I
Yep.
see
Guess
what
what? You're
you're
gonna
doing.
experience the extreme now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I get off on it, and I wouldn't choose, like, any
Yeah.
other way to live this life, like, but
That's a good
that's
bro, that makes me wonder if, like, people that have addictions and that like to
Mhm.
push it to the limits, like, say, gamblers or other people that do daredevilish things, makes me
Stay up
wonder
for
if,
6
like
days straight.
yeah, or, like, people that, like, climb Mount Everest, or, like,
That free
the
solo jackass.
what?
Have you seen Free Solo? Alex Honnold? Oh my god. He no no gear, basically, just chalk and climbing shoes,
Shit. Okay.
climbing El Cap, or it's called El Capitan, like this just sheer
Mhm.
cliff face that takes people like days to go, and he's just out there freaking 10,000 feet, however, just
Yeah,
that's a
dude.
version that that's too much life for me. Like, I will draw
No, it makes me
lines.
wonder though if like if they do this extreme shit in the physical, it makes me wonder if they're connected spiritually. Because if you're not, then you would be
You have to be.
overcompensating.
Yeah.
Well, you might okay, if you're not connected to source, you would have to find your energy through the material realm. So I wonder if people who do this like super crazy physical shit and if they're not connected to source, they would overcompensate and that's how it would express. So like say sports stars. Anyone who's an elite anything that's like the best in their sport. Um
There's a
that's
lot of
just a
ego
theory.
involved.
100%. Like, they could be like, "Thank you, Jesus," and, like, kissing their fucking cross and all this stuff. Like, they could be saying those
Mhm.
things, and it makes me wonder if they're actually, like, connected or if they're fake connected to where they don't actually, like they're not actually practicing what they're preaching, in the background. If, like, they're beating themselves up and, like, doing drugs and, like, doing all this stuff to, like just when they spiral and then like compensate for that or overcompensate for that through like the accolades and like all this other stuff. That so it's like this false like people are searching for mama duck and this is the weird
Mhm.
warped expression of it and that's how like people get lost in the sauce in Hollywood and stuff, I feel like. And that's why everyone's like, I want to be famous. I want to be seen. I want to be this. And they like chase the material realm when they don't realize like they could actually experience that same feeling if they were to come closer
Mhm.
to Mama Duck or whatever. I mean, it's probably not everyone, but as a therapist and shit and studying people and like being a good read of people, I feel like that's probably really common.
Yeah, and especially if they're putting it like that sort of thing is supposed to be an individual journey. Like, it's because everybody's path is different, and putting it out there like, oh, do what I'm doing and it's going to get you where I am. Mm, no,
Yeah.
that's not gonna work because we're all different. And to tell somebody that, to push it, like, that's why I keep a lot of my stuff to myself, like, because I don't want that's what gets people trapped in these loops. Like, oh, if I just do what they're doing, I I can achieve what they say they're achieving.
Yeah.
Like, and never really
Yep.
know, and they're just chasing that rabbit the whole time when their rabbit is way over here
Yeah.
because it's something completely different, like, and it always
Exactly.
was. And, that's kinda my perspective on things. Like, I wouldn't tell people to do any of the stuff I've, tried in my process because
Yeah.
it it would get some people in trouble. Like, I can be there for them and, use my experience, like, okay, you're going through this, like, here's kind of, you know where I got hit in the gut, like, in how I kind of moved past it, but I'm gonna let that person get hit in the gut first, like,
Yep.
because
And
you have to.
this is why therapies don't work on everybody. Because they try to like prescribe, like at the VA, they try to prescribe like the same 3 therapies to every single fucking person that walks through the
Ugh.
door. And it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, bro. So this is why I started teaching the mechanics of physics and how it interacts with the human experience, uh, to help people with their mental health issues, because like then they can make it fit them, because you can't argue physics. It just is. Like, if I mean, maybe you can argue, but I don't know, I'm not a fucking scientist. They probably do argue, but either way, it's right there in front of our face, like, a tree is a tree, you know? So, it's like, you can look at a tree and be like, "It sways in the wind," you know? Like, you can observe
Mhm.
it. And so, there's no arguing that shit. There's, like, basic truths, and so that's how I help people now, because I learned the hard way that, like, that it's actually causing harm to people when you try to make it fit them, and then it doesn't, and then they go through a shame spiral of like, "There's something wrong with me. Why isn't this helping? Why isn't this working?" So all these people are like, "Do these manifestations, do all this shit, right to your inner child, blah, 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 and you'll be a millionaire," and all this shit. And I'm just like, bro. I mean, if they're doing what excites them, cool, whatever. Everyone's on their little journey, but like, there's a way to get there faster. And that's what I'm teaching. Like, in, like, my work, like, trying to help veterans, with their mental health, because I genuinely believe that, like, veterans are gonna be the ones that rise up when shit hits the fan. We need them healthy and healed so they can't get hijacked.
It's the pressure testing, like, you know,
Yeah, they're
that's
stuck
all
looping.
that's all basic training what is putting as much pressure on, you know,
Yeah.
new recruits as possible
Yeah, let's
because
flip that DNA on.
yeah, and because the next level for some others is going downrange. Like, okay, what is that? That is just amplified pressure where there aren't guardrails. Like, there isn't a governor. You're gonna have to. You might not come back. And
Mhm.
are you
It's the
cool with that?
ultimate
Are you
test, man.
are you gonna
And then
pee
when you
your
survive
pants?
that, they don't know what to do after that when they get back and they transition out and stuff, and they're like, "Okay, now what? I just did all
How
these
do I?
things. Now what the fuck do I do?"
What do I do with that governor? Like,
Well, also, like, if they're not connected spiritually, they're gonna loop because they don't have a
yeah,
mission. They don't have any sense of purpose because they're not connected to their spiritual side of, like, their oversoul's trying to connect with them and communicate with them, but the VA is prescribing all these fucking meds that's numbing them out and keeping them sick, and, like, their fascia's not getting manipulated, and, like, they're not stretching, they're not moving, so they don't like, they're basically shutting off all access, so they just become, I don't know, I wish I knew more about, like, like, uh, electric what is it called? Like,
piezoelectric,
what an electrician would know? What are the
circuits.
electricians? I wish I knew more about electricity and electrical things, like what an electrician would know is what I'm trying to say. Because then I can give you like a quick like metaphor or something to anchor to, or analogy. So basically, they become this uh, un- super grounded, super electrical thing that's like, I guess you can call it corrosion. Let's just call it that. That's perfect. Like a battery that gets corroded,
Yeah,
it can
it
no
can't
longer like,
channel
it's just
that
like,
energy.
right.
Yeah,
That's kind of what's happened to the veterans, and they're all just like zombified and just like no purpose. They're like overweight. They're freaking all like struggling. Not all of them, but like in general sense. Their joints are fucked. I wonder why. They're holding so much charge and there's nowhere for it to go. So they have to numb it out through all
and
kinds of ways.
a lot of times it happens around the because that's cortisol, like
Yep.
all that cortisol that you
Yep.
learn to build up and channel outwards. If you can't do anything with it, it collects around your midsection. It turns into that spare tire, like,
Yeah.
and like it's also obvious, and it's hard to explain because
Right. I can't
it
go
is
in there and be like,
so
"Hey
simple.
guys, you're
Yeah,
under spiritual attack."
yeah,
They're not gonna fucking listen. So I'm finding very creative ways to get a hold of them, and you don't even need to talk spiritual shit to help them. If you just give them the mechanics, they're gonna figure it out themselves, and then they're gonna slowly start chipping away at the corrosion, and then they'll get more access to their oversoul's like connection, so they can start getting downloads. Because a
hmm
lot of them have like very, very powerful spiritual gifts that have activated, and they've been numbing them out through like drugs or like working or like, like porn or whatever. They're trying to like have outlets to like distract them from those gifts. Cause I imagine if you're not tapped into anything spiritual, it could be very scary to like hallucinate, quote unquote, or have a psychosis episode or like episode of like, getting these crazy downloads of like, holy shit, I just got pulled out of my body. I don't know what this means. I can't tell anyone because no one in my circle.
it can feel
Hmm.
very manic, like the
Yes.
mania, and
Yes.
it's terrifying because such bad connotations have been put on it.
Hmm.
And, it's one of the things that I had to power through. And I was lucky enough to, you know, create a cave for myself and work through it alone. Like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm going to fully experience like this mania. Like,
Yeah.
let's have fun with it. Like,
Right.
and I'll come out of it and look back on it, check everything. Like, how crazy did I get? All right. Like, and, kind of refined it from there.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it
okay,
like you're
I'm
just
gonna,
tapping into like a million stations at once
yeah,
with
and
tons
just
of energy?
let it roll. And, that staying up for 6 days in a row, I just recently did that. I'm not proud of it. It wasn't the funnest thing in the world, but I learned a lot about myself. Like,
Hey man,
you
if you
know,
got the energy, why not?
well, and that's, and we were talking about this before, but part of my cheat code for it was my back. I just let all that stuff grind into the point where I can't move.
So
And
Ryan has a spare battery pack on his spine. We're gonna
uh-huh,
call it that. And
uh-huh,
he can pop the bubbles like bubble wrap if he needs like an energy shot, essentially
a
is what
little
we're
jump.
discovering. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Which is
I
pretty cool.
do, complement with caffeine and, methylene blue, like, but okay, so my back gets knotted up to the point, and I've done it in multiple episodes where I'm just sitting there like trying to work it out. But I've figured out if I breathe in and just, you know, it sounds like just laying that bubble wrap out under a car tire. And as soon as that happens, it's
Ah,
it's a
yeah.
jolt,
You just
and
alchemized energy.
it's transmutation. Like, and I'm like, oh
That's
shit.
cool.
And that's where the concept that I'm working on called quantum pneumatics comes from. Like, we are pressure vessels. What do pressure vessels create? They create energy. Like, and when you do that, when you crack your neck, when you pop your back, what it creates is piezoelectric energy that travels through your body. So it's a jolt. It's a quick shot of adrenaline that
Yeah, and, like, research has shown, like, they've tried to debunk in the, chiropractic world that, like, popping your back does nothing, and it's like, okay, maybe in a sense of, like, physical pain and, like, the structure of the spine, all that shit, like, okay,
mhm.
put that to the side, but
Roger,
nothing
gotcha.
every
Yeah.
single thing your body does serves a purpose. It has a very unique function, and if we write off any of it, like, our body is so incredibly intelligent. We haven't even scratched the surface of what it's capable of. And so
Mhm.
if you just start getting curious of like exactly what you're doing, like, why do I pop my back so much? Or like, why do I feel the need to do this naturally? Why do I feel better after? Why do I feel energized? And you just keep exploring it. Like your freaking thing that you do is you just Google everything and research, and you go on your AI and do all the deep research stuff. And then you get keys and you're like,
Mhm.
holy shit, okay, this is like something I'm unpacking now.
Yeah, and it takes its hypothesis into theory into like, I do it in reverse, though. Like, I feel it, okay, now what the hell? I'm gonna create a hypothesis, then I'm gonna create a theory. Like, and, the theory is, like, okay, it's electricity. What does electricity do? It provides energy. And okay, let's look at all the people who've talked about this throughout history, and that goes back to the Gnostics, the Stoics, the
Wait, I'm curious. Sorry,
go ahead,
ADHD
jump in.
squirrel. If you experience mania, quote unquote, okay? So
Mhm,
let's just say all your shit's firing on all cylinders, all right? And you're like shooting off all this, you're pulling in like whatever is what I see it happening like.
mhm,
Um, all right. So let's take this and like apply it to like say any uh mechanical structure of any kind that we built, like an engine or something.
mhm.
What would you be missing to regulate that ramp up? What does a car need if it's like has too high RPMs?
Well,
Like
that's part
what's off?
we're talking about the governor. It's going back to
But
there, like, it
Mm,
it like, most cars can go quite a bit faster than we're
yeah.
set.
Well, it's different though because the governor governs speed, but I'm talking about the RPMs. Like we need a fucking mechanic in here. All right, any mechanics in the chat? Or like get some mechanics in the chat. Let's figure out like if you're freaking revving up too hard and it's not dropping gears. Or
Your transmission
actually, it's not dropping gears. Your gear's too low, and you need to like go up.
your
Um,
transmission's
your
out of whack.
transmission. Okay. Okay. Here
Yeah,
we go. So,
and,
what would the
like,
transmission be in the human body? Let's see. I love doing shit like this. This is how I actually came up with my model.
well, would it be your mind? Because all of that, those RPMs are getting stuck there
Mm-mm,
in mania,
doesn't feel right.
like,
Hold on. Because it's more than that. It's energy pulling in, and
mhm,
then you're making sense of it through your mind. The mind is just like the monitor that it's showing you things through. But the energy is already coming in no matter what. And I imagine it would express differently through different people. So like for you,
okay,
it would be mania.
here's here's a to your metaphor. Okay, n like, you have a normal car, you wanna tune it up, you put a cold air intake on it, and when you're pulling in the air, it's filtering all the bullshit. Like, so let's say you start off with just a normal air filter. Like, all the crap, the crap that you're pulling in by operating at this speed, you
Mm-hmm.
can't filter all that crap out, so it bogs the engine down, and that makes the transmission have to work differently, and it can't
Mm.
change gears properly. And like, you put a cold air intake on that bastard, it's taking in a lot more clean air. And if you're taking in good energy, like what I'm doing is okay, trying, I'm not doing nefarious bullshit anymore.
Sure.
Like,
I mean,
but
and this would also mean, like, you would have to, like, want to repair your transmission to where you can operate more cleanly, you could say. So it's not so, like, chaotic energy if you, like, can't
mhm,
if it's just kinda like you're just catching bullets as they're flying kinda thing versus, like, flowing nice and smooth.
very
Ooh,
grounded.
if we take Yeshuani's, I read her, undivided field thing, and she was talking about there's, like, multiple angles you gotta look at. So it's either an identity issue where you can't ground in the information you're pulling in because you don't have, the proper knowing of who the fuck you are, and that would come through, like, self-love and, like, your boundaries and all that stuff. But then you also have, like, bandwidth issues, um, which the bandwidth issue comes with it's, like, more of your physical body thing. Of, like, you can't it's like it's all interconnected, but, like, how I see bandwidth is, like, a combo of, like, your mind, and the way it's interpreting the data coming in, if it's being interpreted as, like, way too, like, for example, if I'm like, "Oh, no, I have to start, um" a YouTube channel tomorrow because I get this download and it's like it feels like I have to do it now, that's gonna
Mhm.
over fucking whelm me, and that's gonna take up a shit ton of bandwidth, and then if I have other open tabs that I haven't closed yet, which ADHDers do, you're going to collapse. So maybe that would be like the depression after mania, for example, where you pull in
you
so much.
you have to let you and that's one thing I've learned too, is like when you're in it, when you're in that flow state, when you're moving, you have to be very intentional about what you're doing. Like,
Yeah,
okay, for
dude,
example,
'cause you'll
like,
burn out.
um, the am the amber, talking about you know, um, cross-pollinating podcasts. Um, okay, so I was talking to her, and she does this awesome thing where, you know, she can write like a story in 20 minutes, and super awesome, super coherent, and, sounds amazing. I think I sent you the record,
Yeah, yeah,
and it was all so well put together. And that's something I've always had issues with. And that's, speaking, having all these thoughts and being able to put them
yeah.
out coherently.
Yeah, bring him
And
to the 3D.
so I took it and I was like, damn it, I want to try that. I'm going to figure out
Oh,
my version of it.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, because there's a reason that that interested you and that that caught your attention and that you're like, "Damn, I like that." Now you're following the little, like,
mhm.
carrot or whatever of like, "You gonna come over here?"
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to explore this and I'm going to do it with everything I have. I'm going to turn that engine on and go until I figure it out. Like,
Mm.
in it, as long as I'm not hitting, even if I hit a wall, just, kind of weave
Yeah,
through it. And
yeah.
what came out of it was a book. Like, and I did that shit in 4 hours. Like, and I used my, like, AIs that the algorithms I built for them. Like, so then I was in Gnosticism at the time. Like, so, okay, let's pull this in. Let's pull my personal experience and what I've been trying to do, and, like, you know, show all these systems that attack people. And oh shit, those are archons. And crafted this whole wireframe narrative and, built these prompts to go in to this one large model, and I dropped it in, all the ingredients, the alchemization, and I just let it roll. 2 hours later, I had a 300-page fucking novel, called The Cartographer, that I'm sitting on, that's ready for publishing. And,
Yeah.
and
See, my framework is like, see, you're doing the Sims freaking Rosebud.
yeah,
And I'm like, no, I'm going to raw dog this shit and I'm going to fucking write 300 pages and it's going to take me 10 years. That's what I would do.
yeah.
Because I'm
And
like, no, I need it to be like me and only me. But this is where our souls are just so different and we have to follow what excites us because who fucking knows where this is going to land you and who you're going to activate in the process.
yeah, and that's the beauty about it. I'm not, I wish I had the attention span to do that. I do,
Not
but
yet, maybe.
I'm in, 55 comes quick. Um, like,
You can
but
do
I
anything you
want
put
to,
your mind to, Ryan.
I want to experience as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
So you got to go quick.
yeah, and I went back and I actually read I did stop and read the entire thing.
Uh,
And it's fucking fantastic. In all the odd, it's definitely not, there's a piece of soul missing, and but mechanically, it's oof.
so back to let's go back to the plasma organism of source and like how we are all different expressions of consciousness, which is basically we're all just on different algorithms and we enjoy those algorithms. We're just naturally curious about different things for good reason. And not only are we just curious about different things, but we view it from different angles than like other souls would. So what I was told was like, you have to speak everything from like how you view the world is what you need to share. It's not, it doesn't matter if it's like right or wrong or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the way you think. You could literally talk about like a fucking marker and how you would break down this marker is so unique to you. It has your signature when you speak about it. And so that's why you have to share your voice. Doesn't fucking matter what you're saying. It's going to activate people because it's just the way I think. So back to the source thing. So when we like, let's say we were the older brothers and sisters and we're like, they need our help. Let's go, guys. And we jumped in and we had to incarnate like everyone else or whatever. It's not that we're more special. It's just like, hey, we want to help everyone remember so we can like guide them back. And we were basically just like, come this way, come this way. Like, you can go that way if you want, but it's going to take you like 10 more years like
Mm-hmm.
of suffering. Like, you don't need to suffer. Come here, come here. It's because we love them. But like, so what I was shown was like, I'm on the edge. So what it feels like to be on the edge. And I'm not the only one on the edge. So you think of this as like a marathon that we're all running. And like at any point in time, another one could lead. Any one of us souls could be in the lead. Like it's a race, but it's not like we're not competing against each other. We're all running together, but sometimes people are faster than others or whatever, or just like the way that they are playing the game, they just naturally are going to be like the first in line or whatever. But like, so what I was shown was like, I'm on the edge of like the expansion back towards Mama Duck. So because of my algorithm and because of
Mm-hmm.
how I think, and that has to be shared, which is why I was shown this information because only I can see it from the angle that I did with the ducks and all the other shit. And if I'm sharing this, it can hit people differently than say some enlightened fucking person that didn't draw a dick on a piece of paper, a castrated fucking cow. Like, yeah, I'm gonna hit people that it wouldn't normally hit in a very spiritual way, whatever. And it doesn't matter how it gets to you. What matters is it just hits you at all. Like you just need the awareness and then you can make informed decisions for yourself. And only then do you actually have free will. They're trying to like give us two options, like Democrat, Republican, and be like, you have free will. No, we fucking don't.
Yeah.
No, we
Bullshit.
fucking don't.
No, it goes back to repackaging the same bullshit over and over.
Yeah.
Like, and okay, where has that gotten us? Further and further away from Mama Duck, like as a collective, and to the point where you have these autistic souls that are incarnating that says, I don't even want to fuck with y'all. Like,
yeah, we're the system override. Back the fuck up, guys. Like, you have no idea.
yeah, like,
And they're not even mean about it. Well, they can be. They can be like, their body will physically like have a
yeah,
reaction to you. But like, so what it feels like, so why I want to share, like, I'm on the edge, quote unquote, is okay. So Ryan and I were talking about this like right before we started. And I was like, we like when you reach, like when you go through the whole awakening process, watch Finding Nemo. That's how you awaken. Like in a nutshell. So once you blow out of the blowhole of the whale, that's when you come back to Earth and you're like, all
it's
right, I'm ready
Pinocchio
for my
too.
mission. Oh shit, I haven't watched Pinocchio in a long time. That movie was so boring to me. So I've never
was.
rewatched it. And it's
But
creepy as fuck.
it is.
At least
It's
they like
dark.
repackaged creepiness, so it's not so obvious. But so when you are in the lead, quote unquote, which is basically like, all right, you've done your shadow work, enough of it. You're always gonna be doing it, but like you got the big chunks out of the way. Your ego's not like running away with you. You've like gotten it tamed down to where you're not like super programmed anymore. You can think freely. And then you have your idea of where you're supposed to go in general, like, sense. You're like, I know I've always, like, for me as a kid, I was like, I know I'm gonna be on stage, or like everyone's gonna look at me. I'm gonna be seen. Like I knew this, but I didn't know in what context. So I chased that in the military, thinking like I'm gonna be a leader and I'm gonna go as the highest rank I could possibly go and be the first female chief master sergeant in the Air Force. That was like my dream. I didn't know why I wanted that dream. And then it was told to me, oh, it's because you're so vain and all this other shit. You're so full of yourself. And that was the shadows that I had to overcome to like understand who I really am. And that was my own packaging to like activate my shit. So I've overcome those humps now. And another piece of it was like overgiving, and like being too nice and confusing it, and like basically getting way distracted over and over and over and helping everybody else instead of moving towards my shit. And in the meantime, when I don't move towards my shit, my life kind of falls apart a little bit. Like it feels unfulfilling. I feel disconnected from like my husband, my kids. Like I just feel like almost preoccupied and obsessive almost, of like I keep looping. And we always mention Yeshwani, but like if you can fucking follow her, please do. She just is tapped in. She basically was like, how she described OCD was really funny. This is how you know someone's super tapped in, when they don't overcomplicate shit. They literally are like super obvious. So someone was like, what do I do if I'm ruminating and I have OCD or whatever? And she's like, well, you're looping because you're in the loop because you're missing it every time. So you got to loop again. That's it. You're just missing the thing it's trying to show you. So you're just going to keep looping. So that's what's happening. And so me being on the edge, I had a choice last week. I don't know what was happening astrologically last Monday, I think it was. I don't know what date that. Let me look. Just because if people are like, what day was that? Anyone who's
That
like
would have been
into astrology, the 11th.
like the
I think there
11th.
was like a portal. It's the day after Mother's Day.
In
there
this
was a
weekend where it's a new supermoon, some bullshit like that.
Like the new moon. Yeah. Okay. So whatever happened on Monday, it was this weird feeling I got, and I was like, I have a choice to make. I either move on this now or I have to wait another cycle. And I didn't quite have it that clean at the time. It was just more of like, why am I waiting on this? Because I'm like working on a workshop with this other dude, and I like passed the ball back to him. I'm like, all right, he's gonna work on a story to intertwine it into our teachings. And I was like, yeah, when you're done with your story, let me know, and then I'll keep working on the workshop. And I was like, wait a second, there's so much I could do in the background while he's doing that. Why am I like, I'll just chill and do whatever.
Mhm.
And it was the shit that I didn't want to do. It was like the tedious shit that is so fucking annoying. Like, I had to build an entire platform from scratch, and I had to come up with a name for my model. I had to create descriptions for everything. Um, I had to like, not to mention all the glitchy shit, and like, I'm like, so if you've ever developed like an email sequence,
Mhm.
like a chain reaction that needs to occur when someone like say purchases something, then they'll get these
Automation.
automations. I couldn't figure out like why, because like I'm testing it over and over and over. I got to keep changing the price. I like have a price, but then I like put it back down to 0 so I can test it, and then it's like not working, and I'm like, what am I missing? And I'm like Googling it, and I'm trying not to get overwhelmed because then I won't think clearly and see it
Mhm.
like I'm supposed to see it. So I'm talking to this little AI thing on the platform I'm using, and it's like, follow these instructions. And I'm like, yo, this isn't working. This isn't working. And I literally
Those
was
little
looping with the
fucking
AI. And I was
AIs.
like, bro, what
Like,
the fuck? And I was like, take me to your manager. I was like, take me to your leader. And then it was like, well, I'll get you to the chat. So then I talked to an actual human, I think. And they're like, oh, it's because you're on the trial version still. You didn't actually purchase it. And I was like, oh, great. Now I got to spend $200. So I basically have to like take the leap and
mhm.
trust that it's going to be fine and that the money will come in. And I have to go fucking hard. So then I was like, all right, it's time. Click. And I'm like, don't have a fucking choice now. Not to mention, I talked to the dude and I was like, hey, what do you think about Saturday for our workshop? I know it's tight, but like, what do you think? And he's like, I could do it. It's my birthday, but and I was like, are you sure? He's like, well, my birthday already passed. It was like my birthday
The
party. And I was like,
celebration. Yeah.
okay. And he's like, well, if we do it at this time, then I'll have an hour to get ready. I was like, all right, let's do it.
That's all a guy needs.
Yes. And so we like locked it in. So now it's happening. So now I like don't have a choice, but like in a good way. I'm
Mhm.
being forced now. And then I also have this like, all right, you locked in the price. Like now you got to do it. And this is how I operate. Like kind of like you're pressurized, whatever. This is how I do it. It's not
Mhm.
through shame based shit like I used to do of like, you better get this done, Melissa. It's more of like, I know I can do this because it's divine timing. Like it has to be this Saturday for some reason. There's something going on astrologically, or like there's portals some people are
Yeah.
going to jump into, something like that. So what is
I l
Saturday actually? Is that the super moon? The new moon?
No, that's tonight.
Fuck. All right,
Or
I'll look it up for
last night.
Saturday.
Um, no, and hey, I love a good self-shame sesh. Like,
I'm
like,
I'm past that now, which is nice. It's nice to
oh,
like be a cheerleader for yourself versus like the shame.
well, I can actively, like, knowingly do it. Like, when I need to tap into something, I'll go rummaging through my tool bag, like, ooh,
This Look
ooh,
at this
this,
one going. Yeah,
yeah,
you're manipulating your internal family to use
mhm,
them to call on them when you need
yeah.
them. Yeah, that's the
Like,
way to do it.
some situations, like, okay, shame, come on, like, we've had fun
Yeah,
before,
you're
like,
embodying that shadow, and every single emotion is there for a fucking good reason.
mhm.
There is no emotion that's bad, quote unquote. It's about
You just
where it's
tapping
coming
it in,
from. Yeah.
tapping into it in the correct way, and they're all tools to be utilized in different situations, and when you play with them enough, you know the characteristics, you know what you can accomplish within
Oh
them.
my god, I'm getting a download right now. Hold on. Ooh.
Let her rip.
Excited because I'm gonna use this in my workshop. Mm. So something that occurred, I think I shared last time, was like I had that ugly cry.
Mhm.
where like I just like felt devastated and I was just like, fuck it. Let me just feel it instead of hiding it and stuffing it down. And only through expressing that emotion did I get access to certain things.
Mhm.
So an emotion holds a specific breath pattern,
Mhm.
body tension combo. Um, certain thought forms will develop only with that frequency. So you'll have access to more of your canvas of that you're working with. So like if I never access my self-loathing side, then I won't
Ooh,
know what's
that's a
actually
fun
inside
one.
of me.
Yeah.
And I can't like fully embrace it and love it if I don't know it's there. So
Mhm.
when these little emotions come up, we've labeled, and this is the fucked up thing is like through the labeling of it, we've actually fucked it all up. So really,
Labels
the download
suck
I'm
ass.
getting, yep, the download I'm getting is emotions are not what we think they are. They're energetic like packages of like here you go. This is what you need for your next layer of what you need to work through right now. Um and allow it to be felt fully because then you're going to experience what you need to experience, whether it's an activation, whether it's like so you can get access to another thought form you've never had. So you can get, maybe there's a key in there where there's like a memory that you're gonna be accessing, whether it's like from this life or another.
Mhm.
Maybe you'll find a portal within your body to direct access to your soul family or something like that. You can get direct access to source more easily. That's like unfiltered. What else? You There's a whole rainbow of emotions, so when you suppress any one of them, you're robbing yourself of, like, your fullest capacity. You should
Mhm.
be a rainbow of emotions.
Roy G. Biv.
Mhm. Oh! The full light
Yeah.
spectrum.
And that's another, like, you see, my issue is you just did a beautiful job of explaining something I've just been doing. Like,
This is why we're paired, Ryan.
yeah, and I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just like the trauma dove, I call it. Like, it's I think you've seen it, but it's the ray of light, the the colors going through a pyramid, refracting and
Yes,
hitting
I've
a
seen that.
dove,
I've seen that.
and the feathers falling, feathers shedding on one while it's flying and creating light. That's like
Yeah.
my personal logo. Like, in exactly what you're saying, all those emotions, I've I've let them come in and I've played with every single one,
Yeah.
and I know where to apply to rev my engine up again. Like, okay, I need
Yeah,
to
it's like
use this.
you can view it as ooh, so this other creator, he's a neuroscientist. What's his name? Doctor. Anyway, I'll find. Hold
I'm
on.
out here running. Like,
No, let me
like,
let me get him because he actually should be followed. Like he's fucking bomb, bro. Oh, I follow him on our YouTube. Hold on.
Rob Pace, MD.
Yes, perfect. All right, Rob Pace, MD. He's a freaking awesome neuroscientist, and he's awakened. Super cool. Follow him on YouTube and TikTok. Okay, I've actually had conversations with him because like he and I could totally like go with him. Maybe we can have him on the podcast, but I don't know like if my energy will be a lot though. Like he seems like I don't know, I just by like reading his field a little bit, it seems like he needs space to like actually like sift through shit before he like puts it out there.
Hmm.
Kind of like you, but like I feel like he's maybe gets a little jumbled. I don't know. That's just I've never actually talked to him like in person, but I've talked to him through messages. But anyway, how he views things is through octaves music type thing.
Hmm.
So you can view your emotions and like all these the rainbow colors as the keyboard of your your piano or whatever.
Frequency.
And yes. So you can combine certain ones, you can like literally use it to your advantage to get what you
Mm-hmm.
need. But the thing is like all this will be in vain if you don't know why the fuck you're here. Um and you don't need to know like like I don't really know fully why I'm here, but I am anchored into a purpose that's like I'm meant to be seen, I'm meant to be heard, I'm meant to like explore what excites me, and that just happens to be mental health and the veteran community. So I'm just following that carrot basically, and I don't know where I'm going to end up. Like I could be done in a year for all I know, like or it could be the 20 years. I could fall down another like direction in the physical realm for all I know, or like maybe I'll become a musician. Who fucking knows? But all I know is like that's my mission right now. So you can like play your tune where I like anchoring into like this type of energy, like, yeah, and I smile a lot. My
Mm-hmm.
son was watching the podcast. He's like, why are you smiling at him the whole time he's talking? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm just excited. I just like, it just is like,
It's it's
it feels my
energy feeding.
soul.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
when you're allowed to express yourself in the way that your soul, not be afraid of launching into something, like you were saying, you're learning, you're figuring out your purpose, and I'll tell you, like you're right there to, really dialing it in, like landing on it. Like
bro.
mine
I'm playing with it right now.
mine is for children. And that's why, like, part of what I had to ask myself is, like, I'm a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
I care about the veteran community and I want nothing but the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, and mine is children. And that's why, you know, I don't have to have all my stuff seen right now because
Mm-hmm.
it's, I can't go and talk to every child and tell them, like, hey, this is for you, like everything I'm doing. Like, no, I have to put all my stuff together and then croak at 55 and, you know, somebody dig up that, like, oh, look at this, all this stuff this guy put together, or
Right, kind of like how we view like Tesla and Einstein and like all these people
yeah,
that are like,
or give it
they
to
come
my
up with
daughter.
shit. Yeah, right. They don't
And
quite know what they have until later or something like that. Is what
yeah,
you're saying? Got it.
and, because I'm basically mapping her life. And, there will be a day where she understands, like, I'm observing every single thing that she's having to go through and experience. Like, today I took her to her, I put together this, clinical summary of her past 3 years of appointments and, how her temperature stays between 97.0 and 97.8 at all of these 15 doctor's appointments, and her blood pressure is constantly low and she has all these bleeding issues. So finally, I put everything together and gave it to the doctor. And I said, this needs to be observed because most of these appointments happened at urgent care, you
Right.
know, and,
Like, what do you think is
they're
actually happening though? Like, why would this be occurring to her?
in what way? Like in the 3D or the
Well, so
5D?
like okay, where I'm going with this is like we know the doctors are like obtuse, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they they're not going to know like they're not going to see it from the angle in kind of the expanded view that we have. So if you're delivering this information to them, like why do you think you and her are going through this process kind of like knowing the doctors are like dense, knowing like same with the lawyers, same with the freaking like the systems that you're in, like everyone's dense and you're coming here with like all this crazy like big chunks of data. Like what would be this purpose for this? And I don't know if you've ever fleshed this out. I know you're like on the spot,
No,
but
I, I have. Like my mom's experienced two, at least two forms of cancer in her life. And, I have all the same symptoms as she does. I'm just not going to go get tested because that turns into its whole own shit show. Like, that's Schrodinger's cat, Pandora's box. Like, better to have and not know than know and now
Yeah,
what the
then have
fuck?
all those subconscious trances and shit.
Yeah. And, like there have been days where I can't get out of bed, like because of my energy, and I wake up in pools of sweat, and the first thing it tells you to do when you're in that situation is go see an oncologist. Like, nah, we're not going that route. I've seen the destruction that it caused my mother, and today, after bringing everything I did to the her primary care physician, what floor of Texas Children's Hospital did we go to for a referral? You know,
Hmm.
cancer, immunology, rheumatology.
I know,
Ah,
and it's like, but like if you're not pursuing that path, like why with her? I mean, I know it's like obvious, it's like your kid, but like, you know,
because like I said, it's too, like, I just have a feeling where it's not my fight. Like, my
got it.
fight is for the, seeing all the mechanisms of what's causing this truly, in all the apathy and all these silos of treatment that never allow a child. It takes years, because it takes this shit years to develop.
Yeah, and they
But
gaslight the shit out of you too, like the entire process.
in my
Yeah,
whole thing is, how do I cut through the middle of it? I can see that she has an autoimmune situation. Autoimmune and cancer go, you know hand in hand. They're bedfellows. Like, and you know her having blood issues all over the place, and my mom having non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, like, that's a blood issue. Like, I mean, it all feels so simple to me, but, you know I'm not worried about it for me, because I have this life that I didn't come into this, like, I didn't know what my purpose here was until I started seeing it reflected in her. How
right.
do I prevent her from having to go through all this, you know, this meat grinder of a system? Like, how do I cut through it and give her the tools to come out of it where she can experience this life as we're talking about how you should experience it, like free and open to ex, you know go after everything that you want and not
Yeah,
be hamstrung by, something that's put on you rather than you come into this life with. Like,
yeah.
and, that's the point. And that's why I'm not rushing to put all of this stuff out there. Like, I'm letting she does the neck cracking thing, the back cracking thing. Like, I've talked to her about it. Like, and she's going to be the one that really drives it home, because
Yeah, you're
she's
gonna
been
pass the
able to.
torch.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she opened up when she was 5. Like, I saw her spark open. Ah, like, so I didn't do that. I you know, I don't know when mine was, but, I thought it was when I fell, fell face first and had a near death experience or a death experience. But that's pretty extreme as far as a spiritual awakening goes, you know?
I
Like,
mean, everyone has their own fingerprint.
this is true. But,
Yeah.
getting into Gnosticism, there's some people, and we, that just know. Like, and we talked about it not to, we're name dropping here again, but Yeshwani said the same thing, and I know too. Like, and when I came across it, like, okay, that's what I'm here for. I'm not the avenue of change myself, so I don't have to push. I just have to sit back, collect everything, and crunch all the data, put it into a nice complete package, because it's not my story, it's hers.
Mm-hmm.
And hand it off, and she's going to be my, through her will be my mechanism of
Yeah.
change in this world.
Well, it's
Like,
also like this could only occur through your story too, because like say your military experience, because like what I know about like all of our experiences is everything we need to know is in our history, like our own personal life
mhm,
history. And so like the fact that you were in the military, there's a reason for that, very specific reason. So like for mine, it's like, well, I needed the street cred for it to be accepted into the pack, basically, because I never felt really attached to it, like oh yeah, like let's get
mhm.
him or whatever. Like I kind of did in the beginning, but I was like, I'm faking.
It got old quick. Yeah, like
I was
you're like,
like, I think I'm pretending. But I'm like, I'll do this. I guess I have, like, I don't know. I'll just
mhm,
ride in the wave, whatever. And then now I'm like, oh, that's why. Okay. All right. That makes sense. And then I also, because I didn't get too attached, I didn't get blinded by like what, say, other veteran therapists might get blinded by. Like, so if they have combat experience, they might like start over identifying or whatever. Who knows? I had this very specific experience for a reason. So, like, for example, yours could be like it taught you
attention to
how to
detail.
fight. Attention, yeah, exactly. Like whatever job you had specifically, like what you specifically did was like a training ground for you for like what you're
Mhm.
gonna do kind of thing. Um and so like your life experiences prepped you for whatever you're doing, and then she's your daughter for a reason, and you guys kind of like teamed up, where it's like my daughter too, she's like so incredibly her whole situation is the thing that like that pushed me to my absolute limit of like
Mhm.
further than I've ever like I think the closest thing that like that, remember that episode, it might have been the last one, where I was like fuck you to the ceiling and I was crying and I was like feeling, I was self-loathing and all that. Like, the closest I ever felt to that before, I think, maybe 2 times, and it was, like, when my boyfriend was cheating on me over and over and over, and I knew he was, but I was, like, lying to myself about it, because I, like, just didn't I just
Always a
wanted to
weird place.
I was, like,
Like,
the pick
that's
me girl, whatever. I was like,
yeah.
"He can't," like, I need it to, like, I have to just pretend that it's not happening, so, like, that way I still am chosen kind of thing. And then another time when I was in the gate shack on post for like hours and hours and hours by myself, and I just was having like a mental breakdown of like, this can't just be what my life is. There's no way. There's so much more. I'm so much more. Like I have so much more to offer, like that type of thing. And I've felt this way over and over. And I actually wrote when I was like 18, when I was crying and just like going through this
Mhm.
whole situation of like, I can't believe my life is like this, and I'm dating this fucking guy that just treats me like shit, and like I don't know why I can't get out of it. I wrote on this like art piece, and I worked in there like secretly a code for myself, and it said never settle. Oh, never settle for less, kind of thing. And it's
Mhm.
like been a motto in the background. But so with my daughter, it's been like this thing that's pushed me to the edge, because I have zero control over it. And I've literally done everything I can think of. It took me like a year to be like, fine, I'll take her to the doctor, even though I fucking know that they're just gonna give her steroids and it's all bullshit, and they're gonna like put me in like a fucking stupid treatment plan that I know is bullshit. Tried that, didn't work. Tried every fucking thing. Now we're trying Chinese medicine, again, but like this time it's with actual herbs, like that
Mhm.
she's ingesting versus like before it was baths. Now
Topical. Yeah.
she can't even take baths, bro. she cannot go in the bath. Like, she put her hand in the pool today for, like, 2 seconds,
Mm.
and she was like, "Itchy, itchy, itchy," like, for, like, a good, like, 15 minutes. Wetness. Like, her fucking skin. Anyway, so
Well,
I'm
oh
like, "Why is
crap.
this happening?" Go ahead.
Okay. So, I mean, like we were talking earlier, and I mean, the conversation we had, I forget if it was on screen, on record or before we got on, but the dichotomy between our daughters, like my daughter's energy is
Oh, it was before.
depleted.
It
Okay.
was before.
And yours, Cora has an influx of energy. Okay. In that water, okay, what is energy? It's electricity.
Yeah, we actually stopped putting salt in her water because we put Celtic salt in our water.
Well, what
And I'm like,
salt
"Let's
makes it
stop."
more conductive.
I was like, "Let's stop doing that." I just got, like, it was Yeshwani. She was it or her? I saw somewhere that was like, if you are, like, it was Yeshwani. She's basically like, if you are, say, in almost like a psychosis type state, or like you're just pulling in way too much and you're like, "I'm about to go crazy, bro."
Mhm,
Like, the quick override is like, no salt, heavy, heavy meal, like,
mhm.
no movement, like, bundle up, watch a fucking movie, and zone out. Like, just no interaction with the, like, you just zone out.
Yeah,
And don't,
you
like,
keep the
allow your mind to
stimuli
drift.
very,
And
very
so we've
tight.
actually been doing that with her. I was like, "Dude, what if she's pulling in too much?" And this was
Mhm.
through Yeshawani, like, watching her lives, and I was like, "Oh my god." And she gave me a key, and I was like, "Oh, thank God." And I knew it was for me because when I just randomly opened my TikTok, and she's the first thing that pops up, and she's live. And I was like, "She has messages for me." So, basically, she's super conductive, super empath, and so I noticed that she naturally wants to, like, bundle up on the couch and, like, veg, basically. She's
Mhm.
freaking 2, so she doesn't, like, know how to communicate this stuff yet.
That's
Um,
default mode network
and her freaking
right in play.
brother, that's, like, a year older than her, freaking just pokes all day long. They're obviously combined for a reason. And I've done past life regressions, and they've been together, and they've been our kids multiple times. And they're always like a year apart, which is hilarious. So, 3 times that I've come across. So I'm like, all right. It's not that like he's the enemy or anything like that.
No,
He's
it's an
the
energy
antagonist.
exchange,
Yes. He's the
and
antagonist, and he's going to be her activator. He's the dark
mhm, mhm.
activator. It's not that he's bad, he's just that's
No,
how they're balancing each other or whatever. So I'm like, "Okay, we need to shut down her system, like, no salt, freaking heavy meals," and I noticed she loves eating heavy foods, and, like,
mhm.
and I'm just, like, watching this, and so
It
I'm like,
dilutes the energy, it dilutes the charge, like, it it grounds the electricity,
"Yep,
like,
she
and,
needs, like, less water," like,
and
oh, mhm,
here's a key takeaway, and like the difference between yours, her situation and mine situ my daughter's situation is you are a a conscious regulator of what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah,
What gets dangerous is when you have a parent that has these dynamics in children and just doesn't just pours
right, there's no
gasoline on the
regulation,
fire.
right.
Like,
But also that's part of the design too of, like,
mhm.
her mission or whatever, but, like, to what extent, right? We do know that, like, yeah, we are supposed to experience certain things, but we're not supposed to suffer. And
Yeah,
that's where I'm
and
like,
when you're
"My daughter's suffering, I don't fucking know what I'm doing wrong here." I know she has to choose to
mhm,
heal, like, her oversoul has to be like, "Alright, it's time," kind of thing, 'cause something should have worked by now,
mhm,
um, at least in my eyes. So
and
I'm just
all
like,
you can do is what you are doing, is, like, learning what grounds her and, you know, and work with what you have.
"Oh, maybe I
Instead,
need to get her a grounding blanket?"
A
or like a
weighted
grounding
blanket?
sheet and a weighted blanket. That's what I've been
Mhm.
saying. Or I'm like, I should get her a weighted blanket, and I've been putting it off. I don't know why the crap I haven't done it yet.
Mhm.
Um, I'll do that
Hmm.
tonight.
Lead.
Bro, for real. Like a freaking X-ray vest. No
Mhm.
joke. I should paint her room with lead paint.
Well, there's a reason why they stopped doing lead paint, and it
Yep.
wasn't because the
Yep.
reasons. But, like mine, but you're a healed soul, so you're, interacting with it as we were intended to
Right.
interact with it. When
Right.
somebody's so broken and doesn't go through the process and still has children, they create even more damaged children, and
Sure.
you cause that soul so much damage, they do something that fractures their soul, you know.
Right. But it's like, how can we get these people to become conscious? Because really the reason why they're doing that is because they're just in their program and they just haven't woken up. And so if we know we're not supposed to wake them up or like force them to
Mhm.
awaken because it'll cause everything to be worse. So like, how do you navigate this? And
And that's what
is this a moment of like where you surrender, or does this like feel different in how you're supposed to interact
so
with the
this feels
energy?
as a surrender master, like this it's not surrender. It's like, no,
Right, because
this
it's
is a
harm to a child.
it's such a meat grinder.
Distortion is what it is. Speaking of Yeshuani again, we're like her biggest fan. She doesn't even know us. But like she's talking about how it really fucks up your like it's really draining on your system when you experience distortion. So that's why
Mhm.
empaths need space and they need like and autistic people like why they're sensitive to sensory things because it's distortion, most of the time. Like, they're just walking around just seeing how fucked up this world is, and you're like, "I can't
Yeah.
even, like, understand. I'm so confused. I'm so, like, upset. Like, I don't even understand this place." Because
Mhm.
they're close to source, and they're just like, "What the fuck is this? Oh my god." And then you have to, like, actually process all that through your system. It's like eating a bunch of junk food and you're gonna feel like shit while it goes through and you're gonna like need to lay on the couch and do nothing and feel sick and all that. So
Mhm.
some people experience it on varying degrees, and I think that's where a lot of autoimmune comes into play too. Of like you are absorbing so much distortion and you don't know how to express it
Alchemize it to
and
transmute it.
alchemize, like, totally, like, how what do you do? So, like, if none of this is a coincidence, like, all of our like, ailments, you could say, are an expression of, like, the balancing act in our system, like, how we, develop, say, an autoimmune disease or whatever ends up manifesting as the distortion in our bodies and stuff getting stuck in a traffic jam.
Mhm.
It's gonna
Mhm.
express out uniquely to the person. So, like, to some, it is, like, skin conditions. To others, it'll be, like, fibromyalgia type stuff. To others, to others, it'll be, like, extreme inflammation. Like and so, I think I'm just, like I don't know if this is download or not, whatever. I'm just guessing. Those are your channels of which you once you unblock it's like kind of like an arrow of like this is your gift. Whatever it's affecting is like your gift or like what makes you sensitive. And that
Mhm.
once it's cleared and cleaned out and you can properly view this world without distortion. And it's not that the distortion goes away, it's about how you interact with the distortion that fucks you up. It's the angle of which you're viewing it. So
Mhm.
if so I go through the world, so for example, we were talking about this at the beginning of the podcast is like I don't know, I just don't fucking get upset over when people are talking about, like say animals dying, something like that. Like it's not that I don't like care. It's just like it doesn't like make me fall apart completely. Like if I'm watching a movie and there's music, different. But like
Mhm.
I'll see it on the road and be like, "Oh," but I'm not gonna, like, cry, you know what I mean? It's not I'm moving on because like, I put it in its
Yeah.
place, I'm like, "They're somewhere else now." So, like, we have gifts, and wherever we get bogged down and blocked is likely the channel of which we bring all this energy through, so it should be our priority to unclog it and to focus on those areas. So, for example, I imagine fibromyalgia is your fascia. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Is your
Mhm.
fascia fucking firing off all crazy? Or your
Mhm.
nerves? I don't really know. I don't know enough about fibromyalgia. That's just guess. Um, like my daughter's skin stuff, that's how she processes it through. She's
It's
super sensitive to it.
okay. So look at fibromyalgia like the internal expression of her external expression. Like
Like eczema
all
on the
over.
inside.
Exactly. Like it's all over body pain that's 8 to, 8 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 when it's
Yeah.
flaring real bad,
Yeah.
and you can't do anything to stop it. You can't take, Tylenol, you can't they have to dose it with fucking morphine, and you have to go see a pain management specialist to come up with a whole cocktail of,
Yeah, if they
bullshit.
even believe you
Yeah,
that it's a
exactly.
real thing. But, like,
Exactly.
it makes me and we're talking about the physics thing and how I would apply this in my model is, like, these are your check engine lights. So, like,
Mhm.
the only reason they're gonna amplify is because you don't have the information yet of, like, what it represents and, like, what it's there for. So, like, for some people, it's like there's a message that needs to get through and they're ignoring, and the only reason
Mhm.
you suffer through anything is because you've ignored something. So, for example, the feedback loops, like when you're looping, if you start suffering in that loop, it's because you keep missing what they're trying to show you. So, for example, for my daughter, it's like it was right in front of my face the entire time that she's sensitive to her brother's energy. And
Mhm.
I never thought to protect her from it until I was holding her and my neighbor was like, "Oh, I love her hair," and touched her hair, but she was already faced away from her and, like,
Mhm.
and did not want to be touched or, like, looked at,
Mhm.
and the lady touched her hair.
In flare?
And, well, I no, she didn't flare, but, like, I was like, "Holy shit, she just tried to set a boundary for herself, and I did not, like, protect her boundary."
Mhm.
And it was like, I was just trying to be nice to the person and not make her feel uncomfortable. So, like, I didn't wanna, like I didn't think about it till right
Yeah.
after it happened, and I was like, "Wait a second." And I was like, "Holy shit, she is bound like, she needs her boundaries protected." Because that's what the skin does.
Mhm.
It's your physical boundary between the etheric and the physical. Like, it's how you know anything is real, your physical body, and her skin is, like, on fucking fire because it can't distinguish between the 2, and it thinks everything is attacking her at this point.
Mhm.
It's too much. So I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay, I could do that. I could do this." Now I'm like, "Alright, I got a map now," and, like, I feel much more comfortable. I'm not suffering anymore because now I'm viewing her experience completely differently.
Mhm.
Um and I can navigate it. So, like, anytime we're suffering, we have not seen something, so it's gonna keep looping. So you have to look very carefully and you have to, like, consider different angles and be open to receive. But if we're, like, stuck in our subconscious, like, programming filters, we're gonna have blind spots. And so, like, same with your pain, same with not you just you, Ryan, I'm speaking to, like,
Mhm.
everybody, but, like, same with pain, same with, like, anything that makes us uncomfortable or, like, that we don't like, that we don't want, that we don't understand, it's gonna loop until we see it, because it's like and if when we will keep growing until we're expanded enough to see it clearly, and it's usually something simple. That's what I'm finding. The solutions are always simple because that's how Mama Duck operates. We've
Mhm.
overcomplicated everything in the 3D by labels and, like, explanations and, like, autism must be this and this and this caused by this, all these things. It's like, yes, 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 but then what does that actually mean? How does that actually help us to know? Why are you trying to get rid of it? What's the what like, have you explored all the angles? Like, have you considered like, that's and this is my contemplation of, like,
Mhm.
viewing from every possible angle I can think of. Um, seems to be working out okay, I guess.
And that's all we can do is play around with it until we get out of that loop. And, like you said, look at it from every different angle and try like go back to the simple and, work your way out from there and, just keep that it's expansion and contraction,
Yeah, it's
you
like the
know?
waves. It's like kinda how I jumped on the wave last week. It's like, alright, it's like you're surfing, and you're like, am I
Mhm.
gonna catch this wave? And then, like, some souls go. But some
Yeah.
are like, "I'm not ready yet. That's just too big. I'm not doing that one." Or like, "I don't know, my board's kinda like, I don't feel
Mhm.
comfortable touching my" whatever.
I
Like
didn't wax it enough. Like,
yeah, like, we're like, "Oh, excuse," whatever. You're like, "Ah, I gotta pay my jellyfish. Couldn't go. I got distracted."
that guy's water skiing with his feet. Like
Right. So we gotta like when it's time, it's gonna feel like that. It's gonna be like, I could not go, but I know I should. Do I wanna
Mhm.
do it? Do I wanna leap? And then when you start riding it, it kind of fucking is scary and it kind of sucks a little bit. But you're like, okay, oh hold on. Maybe I got this. And like maybe you'll fall, maybe you won't. But like you'll only know when you do it. And that's the only time we actually can learn anything truly is when we're like taking action. That's the only time you can actually anchor anything from what you're downloading in to this reality. You have to take action on it, and that's usually combined with courage, um, persistence, um, confidence. It's like you have to combine it with these things, which are it's the essence of the soul coming through. And that's when you can build the new earth, um, through implementing it in that way, and that's what's been happening to me the past week. Once I got through the rough fucking waters, where I was like,
Mhm.
"Ah, I hate this process." Now I'm like, "Holy crap, I can see. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, it's gonna unfold."
And now, okay, expand that outward. Like, what is the ultimate, like, I know for a fact that everything you're doing is going to be effective and work. Okay? Like, I know who you are. I know the effort and the insight and everything you put into the things that you do. Okay. And we're building this new earth. What is your end goal? What system are you disrupting that, you kind of understand where I'm going with this energy can neither be created nor destroyed, just
Yep,
transmuted, changed.
yep.
Okay. So
I'm
what?
giving them the code to alchemize their experience. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter
And
what it is. It's no different than what I just did with, like, the autoimmune. "Hey, you're just missing it. You gotta look at
mhm,
it. You gotta slow it down and, like, look at it from another angle." And so it flips it from feeling like a victim of your circumstances to, like, "Okay, I'm trying to be shown something here. Chill the fuck out and slow down and observe. See it clearly."
okay. And
Where are you getting at?
all of that good energy that you're
Yeah.
providing to this new earth, that energy has to come from somewhere. And that energy right now, as things are constructed, are stuck in systems
Mm.
that haven't been
I don't
working.
I don't I don't know. I think well, I see what you're getting at. Like, well, depends on like hold on. Let me make sure I'm tracking what you're saying. You're saying that how I'm anchoring in like where the energy is coming from, what I'm developing or like putting out there.
Mhm.
the energy that it's pulling from.
Well, yeah, like, what is harnessing the energy, like, the people that you are treating, your target for this good
Mhm.
energy, okay, their energy is being given somewhere else. You
Well, I
know,
got you.
b
Yeah,
it's
I'm
in
getting their attention. Like
it's
it's
enta it's entanglement. Okay,
mm.
right now,
Ooh.
we're in
Ooh, keep going.
okay, right now, that energy that is keeping them stuck in these loops is entangled into a system that they're giving freely that energy to. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I'm
in what
hijacking
you're
the
doing.
hijack. I'm like,
Yes.
fuck off, narcissistic
Yes.
systems. Come here, guys.
Yes.
I'm gonna help
Exactly.
you become sovereign.
And that's exactly
Yeah,
how I.
because I'm channeling from source. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why this whole week I've barely been able to like fall asleep because it's like going and
Mm-hmm.
it feels like a drug, bro. And
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
not like manic. Like it's not like
Mm-mm.
to where I'm like can't contain what I'm holding, but it's more like it's flooding in and I'm like,
It's
I'm here
pure.
for it. Yeah, it
it,
feels so
like it's
good.
untainted. It's you're
Yeah.
pouring this energy through a
Yep.
Brita damn water
It's
filter
like
3 or 4 times.
it's like a it's like here you go.
Hmm.
You were brave enough to take the leap or to catch the wave. And
Hmm.
this you have abundance. This is abundance. It's
Hmm.
you will have exactly what you need to do this. And it's gonna be fun and so
Hmm.
fulfilling. It'll be challenging, but I love challenges. That's like literally why I do this is why I don't fucking cheat on games. Because I need the challenge. Like I crave it. And this is my soul's signature. It's like that's why I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Cause no one else is gonna do it. Not like me at least.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But again, that enmeshment, that entanglement that you are trying to shepherd all of this energy away from, that's collected somewhere. And you know that's kind of the way I see what I'm doing. Like, I'm all this energy, I see all this energy being taken up in, family court, in the healthcare system, in all of this. And, this is being done on purpose. Like, just the way the system is set up, it catches it's a big, you know, minnow net just catching all this energy, like, yeah, and we're going to harness it, and like we're going to do everything in our power to keep people in these loops, so it keeps feeding the machine. And like, you're helping veterans, like, and it either leaves the point of entanglement two options: it's to be gone or correct itself to your energy.
Mm.
That's the way entanglement works. When that
Yeah.
knot breaks
And
loose.
those systems that they're entangled with are um pulling their energy where I'm pushing energy in straight from the source. It's like Reiki
Mhm.
in a
It's
sense
it's a
with
form.
my verbal judo shit.
Mhm.
I'm sending it. And it's up to them if they want to like to receive like only their souls can choose
Yeah.
if it's for them or not. Because I'm not going to be everyone's flavor, right? Like some people would rather learn from a dude. It's just like they'll resonate better with that, or they'll like more emotional softness, which I don't. That's not me.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. So, uh, yeah, like you kind of have to, in order to step into this, though, you kind of have to like really ride the line of like, yo, this is kind of narcissistic. But
Mhm.
the difference is like where it's
Energy
coming
transfer.
from. Yes. Where are you pulling the energy from? Is it coming from source or are you fucking pulling it from underground demons?
Yeah.
Like,
Is it
is it,
is it the demiurge or is it
yeah, and I think a lot of people get stuck there because they don't even know the difference.
Mhm.
They've never, like, felt it pure flow. And honestly, I fucking don't really know either technically. Like, I can only go off of what I, like, intuitively sense. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know our own blind spot. We only know what we know. So, like, maybe a year from now, I could be like, well, I really thought I was anchored, but apparently I wasn't. Who knows?
And that's that's part of, like, my back stuff. What it's called is cavitation. Like, you create a cat like, when you pop those, bubbles,
Mhm.
it's cavitation because there's energy there and it has to go somewhere. Like, what am I spending that energy on? Am I spending it on good? Am I or just out there, "Argh," like, wrecking on people?
Right.
And,
And that's your
like
choice. So it's like your free will choice. Do you want to like use it to cuss someone out or do you want to use it to build
Mhm.
something?
Or do I wanna focus
Yeah.
it all on myself and
Mm,
go lift weights and, not have a neck? Like, that's
fair.
a choice.
I could see you like
Like,
that.
I been there, done that, like, I don't have to go back to it,
Yeah.
like and that's part of it, like, I've already done that as my younger self was that person, all state and powerlifting. I don't need to go do that anymore, I've proved that to myself, and that's why I turn it into things like, how do I correct systems that are fucking broken?
Yeah. And
Like
and especially because you're obsessed with it, that's how you kind of know it's like your thing. Because
Yeah,
you can't get enough of it. You're like, I could fix or I could do this. I could figure this out.
yeah,
Like it's just like it fuels you as you're doing it, and that's how you know it's like your thing. Um
and that's
and
why I
if
asked
it's
you
not
the
your thing,
systems
you'll feel
question.
like drained. Mhm.
Yeah, like, because what you're taking on has every opportunity to catch fire because you are doing light work. You are bringing in part of this new earth. And at some point, you will hit it too is like, okay, what is my end game here? Like, how do I create a vessel big enough to hold all of the energy that I'm trying to give everybody else?
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's what I've just started creating this week was like, and this is why it was so difficult to create because it's like this whole platform I had to develop, and I had to make sure that I could choose one on the front end that could
mhm.
hold what I plan on
You don't wanna
having.
create a vacuum, like
Yeah,
a power vacuum, and
yeah,
because
and so
that's
like
dangerous in
there's
its own right.
There's, like so I've been, shown multiple angles, so, like, through these lessons I learned quickly rather than having to suffer through them, like,
Mhm,
learning I only had one fucking leg of my chair, it could get kicked out from under me at any moment. Those little lessons I've learned and, like, freely giving my energy, like, ever since I started, like, pushing this out, it's like people are like, "I wanna sit down with you. I wanna pick your brain. I want to I want to work together. Can you join me here? Da 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 da." And I'm like, okay, I'm prepared for this. I'm not getting drunk with the fucking like, ooh,
mhm,
cool. People want to see me. No, I'm like,
yeah,
sorry, don't have time. I literally said that. Like, I would have
mhm.
never fucking said that a million years. I was like, sorry. I didn't even say sorry. Actually,
No,
I
don't
was like,
apologize.
I was like, what are you thinking? My hands are full right now, with what I'm developing. So, like, I'm not
Mhm,
closing the door because I don't really know what they could be partnership, whatever, like that I'm like, yeah. But otherwise, I'm like, I have gone through the gauntlet over the past year of just being on social media, like, frequently where I'm like, and I'm prepared. And, like, one thing I learned from Yeshuani, again, um she no, I could see why she's up there, and it's rare for me to find people to actually learn from, like, fully learn from. Um, she said, um, "You have to accept that all energy is out there, like including like say demons, for example. And it's not like what you think it is, but it does exist because we believe in it. So it's like if you reject it and pretend it's not there, then guess what? You're freaking it's kind of like you have a blind spot and you're not going to be aware of it, and so now you're going to get blindsided. Uh,
Mhm.
but basically accept that it's all there. And when you are anchored in self-love and you really know yourself, you have nothing to worry about because you get to control your field. You choose how you interact with each energy. So if I were to be like, sure, what's going on? Like, what do you have in mind? Like, or yeah, of course, sounds great. What are you thinking? Like my old response, which would make me like obliged to like whatever. Um, I don't do that anymore. Instead, I'm like, no. Like on the front end, I'm controlling the energy as it's entering into my field.
And now
And there's
you're
nothing to
closer,
fear.
you yourself are closer to being a finished product. So that's what your energy should have. Like, you're not rejecting it, but you can see something that's a work in progress. If you were to jump in and commit to something like that, you would have to go in and be a part of that work to build, instead of, you're at a point now where you can say, hey, I am all the way up here. I'm looking for other, to attach to other fleshed out projects. And if there's a quick,
Yeah.
a spark, okay, let's follow this spark,
Like they
but
have to
you're
like basically
selective.
match where
Yeah.
I'm at, and you can it's crazy because I can instantly feel it. The second that they, like, say a like, even in a fucking
Hmm.
message, even if it's, like, 2 words, I can feel where it comes from, and I know if it's an energetic match or not.
Yeah.
Um,
So you
and the
don't
cool
waste
thing
your.
is I, like, literally I'm not pigeonholing myself, so even the person that I'm working with, I am 100% prepared for them to be like to just fall off the radar, and it's not because I don't trust them. It's because I'm not freaking allowing myself to fall to have one leg, basically. Um, it's like I'm 100% going to allow this to play out as long as it does, but the second that it goes like this, it goes like this, and I'm not
Mhm.
attached to, like, this outcome. So same with, like, my entire plan. It's like I have a vision, but I'm not attached to the vision, and it's okay to, like, shift because that's what's been happening my whole life where I'm like, "Oh, I thought I was
Mhm.
gonna be in the military for 20 years. I had to adjust." Like, but it's always better each time, every pivot. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Sweet, okay. I'm digging this."
Well, you learn how to pivot properly,
Yeah.
and
It's the
you
1
you
degree turns, like,
it's
okay.
3 points of contact,
Yeah.
climbing a
Like
vehicle.
dude, like today that's true. Like today, I recorded an entire video. I did like 2 takes actually, and it was like I like put music on it, I edited it, all this stuff, and then I freaking um posted it, and then I was like, I don't really like the music. And so I deleted it to edit again, and
Mhm.
it freaking um disappeared. And then instantly I was like, damn, I've come a long ass way because I was like, instantly my first thought was like, guess it wasn't meant to be. No attachment. And I was like, fully trusting like that didn't I was like and then I thought back and I was like, yeah, it didn't feel right from the beginning.
And that's such a huge thing that needs more attention, because that's something that I've learned too, like, with my little
Mhm.
laptop. Like, it only has so much space. Like, sometimes, like, I'll have, you know, 50 or 60 files on my desktop, and this happens like every other week at this point. I'll toss everything into a file, put them on
Yeah.
an external hard drive that's very touchy, very old, and I'll just drag the whole file from my desktop, put it in the fucking trash, the recycle bin, and
Yeah.
delete that bitch. Like, no hesitation, no question. Like,
Yep, that's the way to do it.
if something didn't transfer, I'll find out on the back end, and if it's gone, I'll build it again. But I'll build it better because I've already gone through it one time, so it won't be nearly as hard, and I've learned lessons, And if it's not there for a reason. Like, and that was so scary the first time I had to do it. Like,
But
just
it's so cool because like now you're like, "Meh, it'll be okay." Like, "Meh." And I've had to, and people will experience this in multiple forms of like
mhm.
detachment, healthy detachment, not like numb detachment, but just like with
Yeah.
love, basically. But like I had to experience this through multiple like purges of my house and like
Mhm.
letting go. Like I really don't have like sentimental stuff normally anyway. I just don't attach to items like that. But, like, I've had to experience this, like, where I'm letting go of things over and over and over, or, like, a client will just ghost or something like that,
Mhm.
where I have to deal with that, where I'm like, and this was, like, a 5-year process of feeling very personally, like, pulling that in. I did something wrong. Oh, no. I have rubbed them wrong.
It's
Now
vulnerable.
well, 100%, where I'm, like, facing every single shadow, where now it's, like, instantly I'm like, "No, not an energetic match."
Mhm.
I don't even think
No, for
twice,
sure.
because 'cause I'm like, it is what it is. So, now the last part of what I'm still working with are the negative comments. It's like, it doesn't hit as deep, but it's still a little tinge to where I'm like,
Mhm.
"Stop it, Melissa. Stop it."
Yeah.
I'm like or I'm like, "Ooh, there's still something stinging there," or, like, my heart does a little flutter or something, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "Ooh, there's something still there. Let me explore that." And it's like it's kinda fun 'cause your
Mhm.
physical body's like a infinite, full of little surprises, and I'm like, "What
Yeah.
have you got today, body?"
And when you channel that inner, like, it's a little spark of energy. Like, it might not feel like it, but if you the more practice you get at it, you take that little ember of, flame, and, okay, let me go explore this, and then you like, oh, there's a field that needs to be burned. And,
Yep,
you
yep,
light that up and you move on because you know that grass is going to grow better because of the way
totally.
you took care of it. And it's
Yeah, I can't be afraid to,
harvesting
like, let it go.
harvesting the wheat from the tare, you know? And, like, that's what we're here to do, and it's not easy. It was never supposed to be easy. Like, if it
Yeah,
was
well,
easy, it wouldn't be fun.
it's a different that's the difference is how do you want to experience your forest? You're gonna be like,
Mhm.
"What's this? What's that? What's that? What's that?" Or it's like, "What's this? What's that?" How can you create as much safety as possible in your environment? How can you get as close to mama duck as possible? So that's the physical, the safety in your physical environment. What is making you feel unsafe right now, and what can you do about it right away? Is it cutting people off out of your life, leaving a fucking job you hate, like a narcissistic spouse, whatever. Um, Deal with that and the physical, and then you got the spiritual, which is like, are you connected up there? Like, I wasn't for a really I still question sometimes. It's like, I don't really know. But how I know I'm connected is when I feel like when I can do anything. Where I'm like, the world's my oyster kind of thing, and I have infinite choice. That's how I know I'm connected. Anything that feels different, it's like usually something that's I gotta sift through to like unkink to let it flow again. And then the third is the mind of like it's your mental shit, your subconscious crap, your belief systems, like who do you think you are? What's your identity? Do you know yourself? Do you have favorite things you aren't aware of? Like all of your quirks, all the stuff that you ever got pointed out to you as flaws are your gifts, straight up. Like, and that needs to be loved on so they could be
And
properly like, grown.
And that, friends, is how you unknot Kundalini energy.
The
Like,
Trinity. Yeah,
if you want to
that's
boil it
the
down,
recipe.
yeah,
Yep.
that's in
And
a
you keep doing
nutshell.
it, different iterations, it's gonna evolve and it's gonna the levels are gonna get more difficult and more like kinda like get you a little bit where you're like, fuck, I thought I had it.
Mhm.
But it kind of
Yeah.
becomes fun. Like,
Mhm.
all right, what you gonna throw at me today or whatever. That's how
Each
I see
level
it, at
gets
least.
each level gets harder because it has to.
Yeah, you go to
Otherwise,
the
what?
boss level,
Yeah,
Bowser.
and yeah, and find your Bowser and
Yeah,
shit. Like I found
reptilians.
mine. Like,
Yeah, we gotta
and
do this ourselves so then we can do what we need to do when, that was my algorithm this week, was the Anunnaki coming back
mhm,
and trying to be our savior when we save ourselves. So,
yeah,
maybe that'll be next week's episode or 2 weeks. We're doing 2 weeks.
two